Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We're going to be talking about the Sabotage Showdown Mission Pack for Star Wars Shatterpoint today. This is a pretty big deal because it's an entire new mission pack giving you new ways to play the game. If you've already been playing Star Wars Shatterpoint, you've already been playing the mission pack that comes in the game. And one of the things that people have been playing for a little while, certainly something that I've noticed, is that a lot of these games are sort of feeling a little predictable, a little the same. We kind of know it's that checkerboard sort of, layout for where all of the action points are going to be. And now all of a sudden we've got the Sabotage Showdown, the second of 3 initial mission packs that were kind of tested for the game. We know there is going to be one more eventually, but this one is coming out next month, folks. So this is going to be super, super exciting. We got a little bit of a preview. So we're going to talk about this a little bit today in the video. If you guys are new here to the channel, we talk about Star Wars tabletop games, games like Star Wars Shatterpoint, Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Armada, Star Wars X-Wing, lots of Star Wars talk, lots of tabletop gaming talk. Love to have you stick around. We're doing a big giveaway right now for a $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to have a chance to enter to win that is to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and jump into this a little bit. We are going to be getting an entire new series of mission cards for this. There's going to be a different layout. They're going to have special tactical abilities on them that kind of change the game a little bit. Now, while that first mission pack kind of had a spread out kind of setup, this one has a closer together setup, and it has basically a Shatterpoint specific tactical ability. What that means is that when you activate a card with your Shatterpoint card, so basically once per every 6 turns, or rather 7, I suppose. When you activate a card with that Shatterpoint card, you're going to get a new tactical ability. This can be everything from an extra advance or a dash, or a recover a force point, or recover a wound, or recover a condition, or some of the examples that they've given us today. I think, for one, being able to move when you activate a character with a Shatterpoint card is a really big deal. And I think, if you already have a tactical ability that activates right away, I think both of them will activate. I don't think we've seen any characters so far that have 2 different things when you reveal, but I don't think there's anything that prevents you from having 2 different things that kind of trigger when you activate a character initially. So that means if you've already got a character that can move, they should, in theory, be able to move twice. Or if you've got a character that doesn't have a free move when they activate, you can kind of plan your builds a little bit about that. Like, all of a sudden, those tend to be the slower but more devastating characters, and now all of a sudden you get like a free extra move. Like, hey, Darth Vader gets to like move for free before he comes in for the kill. That's really cool. So I really like that, and it gives you a little incentive on where you use that Shatterpoint card. It's not necessarily needs to go for somebody who's trying to take that objective. It might be somebody who's going for the kill, or maybe somebody who is about to die that needs that extra health, or maybe not die, but maybe somebody who's about to potentially face being wounded and losing an objective, or somebody who's got a critical condition on them that you don't want them to have. And there could be more too. There's a lot of different cards in there. There's a lot of cool different potential things that may show up in there. I'm guessing there might be one that lets you make a free attack, or maybe like one of those 5 dice attacks or something like that. That one is a little speculation on my part. They're not actually showing us that one specifically, but that would be pretty cool. We also got a good close-up of the actual layout of the card. It does talk about after a player chooses an allied unit to activate with the Shatterpoint order card, the chosen unit gains the tactical ability printed on the active struggle card until the end of the turn. The active struggle card is going to be different. You're going to have like 9 different cards, so you're getting definitely a lot of different options, and it's going to be different every game you play. During the second and third struggles, at the start of each of their turns, players roll 1 defense die and consult the mission map to mark the corresponding active objective token. With a priority objective token, a player who controls the active... Basically, this is the same. The other text that we're reading here is basically the same. You're still going to roll the die to make one of them worth an extra point. After you move the struggle at the end of the turn, remove all priority objectives from active objectives. Now, the interesting thing about that is the fact that that second and third paragraph are consistent with what we've seen in our first mission pack. it does open up the possibility for future mission packs to change the way that second and third paragraph are worded. Could be that you can have more than one priority objective. It could be that maybe you get no priority objectives. Could be that you roll a die to do something else. It might be a random effect that happens from a specific, like maybe a bomb goes off at any given location and hurts potential players that are standing around there. So there's a lot of different ways that they can make these extra mission packs very, very different. And I'd love to hear from you guys some of your thoughts on how to make these mission packs different. One big one about this one is the layout is a lot closer together. If you'll notice here in the middle, you do have your three range 4 from the side and range 5 from each other moving across horizontally. But then the top and the bottom, you only have two locations that are potential objective locations, kind of causing a little bit of a hexagonal type of shape, which is very interesting because that does mean that the center is going to be a lot more popular. Everything is still symmetric here, but the top and bottom are squished in a little bit more, which means the corners are going to be like dead zones. There's going to be almost nothing to no reason to have anybody in the corners. You want everybody a little bit farther, closer together. This is going to be a really popular mission, I think, for melee characters. I feel like Inquisitors will do really good here. I feel like Darth Vader will do really good here. I feel like a lot of Jedi that don't have much in the way of ranged attacks will do really well here. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see what else they come out with after this. I am curious about some of your thoughts on this. They did say that Sabotage Showdown was the second mission pack, but they had initially tested 3. So the first one is the one that comes in your core set, and it's that standard 3x3. And this one is the second one, but there is going to be another one. So, a lot of Shatterpoint news came out of, between last Adepticon and then Mini Stravaganza. There's definitely a lot more on the way. We see Hondo Anaka here on the box. We also know that Hondo is coming. He's got a whole crew. He's got the pirate gang. They're coming. There's a lot of other Star Wars Shatterpoint stuff, and I am going to be talking more about Star Wars Shatterpoint in the coming future. So if you guys are, if you're interested in learning more about Shatterpoint or just like talking Star Wars tabletop gaming in general, this is a good place to be. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. We can kind of see some examples of where the priority objectives are going to be laid out here. Like for example, they can be kind of squiggled down the middle. They can go kind of all across the sides. Seems pretty standard. There are 9 cards here, but from this picture, we don't see which ones are Tier 2 and Tier 3 and Tier 1, which phases of the game each one are going to come out. Well, there's a lot we don't see also is every mission going to have completely different? Like, are there 9 different tactical abilities on these, or is it the same 3 reflected on Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3? Because I think the free movement is going to be a very important one. Could be a free action of your choice. Could be a free, a free like force action or something like that. Recovering force can be a big deal, but at the same time, if you haven't used any of your force yet, it might mean that you just hold off on using your Shatterpoint card. Cool thing about this game, although it's a little unpredictable, is that if you draw your Shatterpoint card and don't want to use it yet, you can always spend a force, draw another card, and then shuffle your Shatterpoint card back into the deck. So you're not usually forced to use your Shatterpoint card earlier than you want to. But as the turn goes on, you get more heavily incentivized. You might want to use that. And it means you're going to have to really think long and hard about what type of character you want to put in reserve, because then, it might be possible to really piggyback off of the special ability of, hey, I'm going to activate this guy with my Shatterpoint card first. A lot of times, I kind of want to activate like a Darth Vader or a big powerhouse character, and then do Shatterpoint afterwards, because then I have the options to drive him home and to really finish somebody off, or to activate like maybe my clone troopers or stormtroopers or something. Well, not stormtroopers yet; they're coming though. But to activate like basically a support unit that can then maybe take an objective or do something critical, especially if it's a unit that has more than one character, it's nice to be able to activate them with a Shatterpoint card, because in some cases you can take 2 objectives with one activation, which is really cool. But this is going to change a lot of that, and I want to hear some of your thoughts on how you think that this mission pack is going to change the game, because now all of a sudden I'm a lot more incentivized to activate a character first. If they get a free move, I can get them, with the Shatterpoint right away, and then hope to draw them naturally later on, because then they might be, far enough up that I can make that second activation really count for that much more, as opposed to doing them first and having to spend actions moving that maybe I could have spent actions, taking cover, or shooting, or maybe even focusing and shooting if I needed to do that. So it's especially when you really need to get the extra dice, it's really cool to be able to do that. So or if you've got special force-based actions you kind of want to do, that's another opportunity to say, let me get into position first. I think the movement, the free movement here is the most exciting thing. This game is all about movement, so I think getting extra movement is just a golden opportunity to do what you're supposed to be doing in this game. Especially when you're going to have to be very, very close together, moving towards the middle, especially on the first round. If you can get the earlier you can get that, the better. Is going to be awesome. So curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments section. And if you haven't already, join our Discord. We got a great family-friendly Discord. We'd love to talk about Star Wars and tabletop gaming in there. And I'd love to hear more from you guys. That is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this channel possible. Thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.